Okay, I will ask in our order. Who is not ready yet? Okay. We're not speaking right now, so I guess we can start. Just before that, let me remind you that speeches should take like 5 minutes. After 1 minute of your speech, you will hear this, which means 1 minute passed. That means as well that your opponents can start asking you questions, but you are not necessary to take it. You can say no thank you, as we already know. And second clap, that means you have left only 1 minute and no more questions is allowed. And when you hear, that means your time is over and you should say as soon as possible thank you for your attention and you should go to your seat. Go back. Is there any questions about the whole process or something? Who, what? Oh. When the question is accepted, the time is running. So the question should not take more than 15 seconds. That means you should be very short when you asking something. And as well, the speaker, he has a right to say, okay, thank you, I understood your question, and he can start answering the question. So is it clear now, the process? Just usually, if propositions speaker is right now at the stage, so proposition are not asking the questions, only opposition and opposite. To make that clear. Is there more questions? Okay, so I think we are ready to start. Relax, everyone. It's I believe it's gonna be a great debate, and let's start this show. Showtime. So I call upon the stage to start this debate that this House would end free movement of labor in European Union, and we call upon the stage the leader of opposition. Oh.
We are here to talk about the free movement of European Union. In these days, in the modern free world, free European Union, where it seems at evening. Oh, sorry. In these days, in the morning free world, free European Union, where it seems that evening is good and idea of free movement is always celebrated, we usually try to avoid seeing the other side of this freedom. We are here today to tell what free movement of European Union shouldn't be celebrated as it is new. We are here to tell you what is the time to end the free movement of European Union. How often do we see on the news all horrible things that are happening in our countries? How often do we see in the newspapers mothers clutching their dead children, all because of bombs and bullshit, all because of tourists who have the easiest always to come to our countries All of this is called free movement. The way of the borders has led us to the state where we can no longer feel safe, where we can no longer protect our children, ourselves from global terrorism and also global black markets. Drugs, human traffic, criminals can go to other countries, hide and arm trade. Drug dealers pay a lot of money to people to pass the drugs to all the European Union, different parts of the world. Women go together to sell their bodies for a higher price, and here não faças perguntas. Não faças perguntas. And where it is legal. This movement friendly European Union has led us to state where living in our own country is not safe anymore. All because the immigrant communicates how to harm in our country and break law. And what about the job loss? People in their own country not find jobs all because of the immigrants who live in their country and steal the jobs. This free movement this free movement this free movement of European Union causes us problems that are almost impossible to solve. We state that this experiment has failed and it's time to go back. It's time to save the future of our grandchildren. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for speaker of government side. Now we call upon the stage opposition leader to give his speech. And one notice for debaters when you're giving a question, just please stand up. Raise your hand.
All right, so here we have a statement about ending a free movement of labor in the European Union, and I'm gonna be the leader of the opposition. So here we go. To begin with, as you already know, citizens of the European Union are free to cross intra-European borders in search of work and education opportunities, a higher standard of living, or even a more desirable climate. This I call freedom. A freedom to choose, a freedom that may develop a positive relationship between nations. As an area of 27 countries with more than 500 million inhabitants, the European Union is currently the world's best research laboratory on legal transnational migration, which means that all I need is just a Google to find all the information about the job I want and about the way of getting that job, about getting at that workplace. It is just that simple. The right of free movement was from the beginning intended for the economically active population, which means workers who were able to support themselves in their destination country. So, do we want to be economically active or not? You decide. Finally, Europe currently forms an area where citizens from 27 countries of the European Union plus Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland can live, study, or work anywhere we wish. Anyway, Crossing borders within this area has been made incredibly simple by policy, technology, the travel industry, and the globalization. This is what made European Union what it is. Thank you. Now please feel free to attack me with your questions. No questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for leader of opposition for his fine speech. And now we call to continue the debate deputy leader of proposition. Ho ho.
Hello. My English is not good. I will try to read. But I promise I will learn English. In the European Union, we often hear about the differences in cultures and the harm, globalization, and how the Union trying to save thus difference. Methods to save launch the tradition working poorly because the free borders. Do you understand? Borders are the main thing inspiration our thoughts. The loss facilitate when you have different parents from two countries living in another. How will this kind of the children identify themselves? As for example, if the mothers in Lithuania and the father is German, but both of them are living in Italy. Will the children identify themselves as Italian, Lithuanian, German? And what about the language laws? What about the cultural laws or tradition? The free movement is taking all that away. After a decade, there will be no German culture, no Lithuanian tradition, no Italian language. We say it is time to have some control over our own borders, stop people with criminal records to go other countries to hide or the harm there. We cited the passports need to be checked before letting people to come into our countries. We say that it is time to have more control and stop the free movement of drugs, guns, bombs, and people who carry out that into our countries. Thank you.
I'm stating that this free movement is destroying independent cultures. I'm stating that this free movement is destroying independent cultures of free nations.
Can you translate?
I hear. I don't see his family. You say no. I don't.
One of the biggest problems in the EU is the idea that EU is merely a forum for business and bureaucracy and gives nothing back to the citizens. The right to free travel and work, and related with rights of study, schooling and healthcare, are some of the most tangible benefits the EU gives to citizens. If there ever be a viable EU, which itself is necessary for further integration, then it must be based upon the provision of some goods and rights to citizens. Withdrawing one of those few rights that was granted could do an enormous blow to their identity and put EU integrity in stake. Well, the biggest reasons why this law should not proceed is that closing off the borders to labor would create a big mess in the social and economic panorama. It will also, countries and companies usually prefer foreign countries to look for employees because of the cost reduction of the labor. And also the free movement allows people with a lot of struggle in their country, economic and socially, to start a new life in better conditions. In conclusion, this law, as long as all the laws the EU created were for the peace and cooperation of all the nations, and that's something that doesn't exist in any part of the world and makes us unique, and it's an example for all nations in the world. Any questions, please? No? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the leader of opposition for specifying but short speech. And now we call the extension of a proposition. Extension speaker. Applause.
Thank you. The main reason why people move in other countries in the European Union is to get more money. The salary in countries like Germany, for example, is better than in other countries. So the people are moving to get more money, but the money they need to survive, like for food, to pay food and rent, is different. So the money you need to survive in Germany is more than, for example, in Poland or something. So the people are moving to another country to get more money, but it's not equal, because if you get more money, in this countries where you get more money, you need more money to survive. And because of the people who are moving, like to Italy, many Romanians move to Italy, like builders, and they are taking the jobs from the people who are living there and get money to send it to their homes. And like in Germany, there's a situation in east of Germany, there are mechanics and craftsmen from like Poland or something, and they are going to Germany to work there, and the mechanics and craftsmen in Germany, they have no work. So it's really not positive. Also, like in a country which has not much money, the smart people and the young people are leaving the country, and the situation gets worse for that country. Otherwise, if they wouldn't move to another country, they would have to concentrate on their country and how to find a solution. Like in Italy, many young people are leaving, and the average age of people who are living in Italy gets higher and higher, and the smart people are leaving, so the situation gets worse. And the opposition said it's freedom to move where you want to move. But we're speaking not of free movement, but free movement of labor. So I don't call it freedom to move anywhere where you go to work. They are forced to move in a country where there's better working conditions. They are not moving because they want to live in this country. In this country, no thanks. In this country, there are no working places, so they move to another country. But maybe they don't want to live there. And to conclude, the taxes are really a problem. It's hard to control black labor if people from other countries go into other countries and work there, and this country can't control whether they pay taxes or not. It makes it really difficult. For example, in Germany, there are many builders from Eastern countries. They work there. Nobody knows that they work there, and so the country can't control whether they pay their taxes or not. If the builder would work there, the country could control whether they pay the taxes or not. So also the people are going to are going to countries to live there, to work there, where the taxes are low. So the whole system of the European Union is getting worse. It's not good for the system. And also, thank you for your attention.
Okay, good. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to oppose to this topic. First of all, I'm going to speak why it is important to have free movement of labor in the European Union. As we all know, European Union has 4 freedoms. It is freedom of capital, freedom of labor, freedom of goods, and freedom of service. I am sure that you would like not to take this freedom away from you. So, first of all, I would like to oppose because in Ireland, thanks to the freedom of labor, the economy boosts dramatically. You can remember in 1975 when Ireland was changing for Euro, entered the European Union, and what happened? They were lacking the smart brains. They were lacking these people who were smart in technology. What happened? They were taking people from different countries because they did not have enough people in their own country. So the people were not living a poor life. They were living amazing life because they were working as a high technological engineers. Yes.
Don't you think that in countries like Portugal, where the people are leaving, where the smart person is leaving, it makes it worse?
I don't think so, because if you come to a different country and you get experience, then you can always come back and bring this experience from the country where you were experiencing and you were taking this labor, and you can come back and you can teach this in your own country. Maybe you don't have this possibility in your own country, you don't have this technology in the Portugal, but if this person goes to Ireland where they have this possibility, they can bring the knowledge back to their country and teach it others. Yes?
You mentioned that because of freedom of mobility, Ireland had boosted its economy. But if you read last time, after 2008, Ireland has deep problem, population and economic problem. What you will say afterward?
Okay, very good question. The problem in Ireland was that they took 80% of importing support, it means importing income. So they were not thinking in the future. But right now they got their experience and they know that they cannot count just with the inflow from outside. For example, what is happening right now in the Czech Republic? There are coming a lot of companies and they are building their seats, their headquarters, because the labor is very cheap there. What happens in the Czech Republic next is that the labor from the Czech Republic goes to Germany, for example, medicals and engineers, because they get better money there and also better technological experience. So later they're coming back to the Czech Republic and they can boost the economy and the experience also in their own country. Furthermore, from the economic point of view, they are sending very often the money to their own country. So what happens? Although the economy in the country is growing, both in the local and in the exterior. So to sum it up, I would like to note that thanks to free labor movement in European Union, we get first intercultural experience, we get knowledge from different cultures, and second, which is very important, we get this experience in labor. So it means at work, which we would do in our own country, we can experience it outside. And it always broadens our knowledge and it always broadens our view in life. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech, third speaker of opposition. Now we call on stage with speaker from proposition side to end up the debate from their side. Whoa, let's go.
Thank you. Can you start?
1 second. Yep.
Thank you. I'm Jacopo from Italy, and I support the end of free movement of labor in the European Union. I try to create a conclusion of the intervention of my colleagues, and today we have spoken about money to get in our country, but in this way there is a competition, and the salary of survivor is really different in every country. The problem is that in Europe we don't have a clear economic strategy. In fact, a lot of nations enter only in these years in the euro, and but the European Union don't have thinking about the deflation of the price and other problems that the people we can have. For example, I can go to Italy and buy a beer for €4, and in Lithuania I can find €2. So this is a big difference. But I return to the problem, and I want to answer the question if this movement can destroy the independent culture. No, because in this way we maintain an independent culture, we save the local culture, and the local the local culture, the local money, the local strategy, and so we can if we have a strategy to survive this. We can environment, transportation, and other form of states welfare. And another problem is that today we have a lot of people that turn around the country, but we have not political integration to the citizens. We had a lot of foreigners, and we have not to control because with Schengen contract we don't have stop at the border, and so we have not control. We have to protect our people to terrorism, but we cannot do it if we don't have a secure border and secure nation. We have a unique money, we have the euro, but a lot of inflation. Yes. If the people turn around, we have a problem because in the origin country we don't have youth people like in Italy, because they go in other nation to work, to study, to other. This is the principally occupation. And so the nation remain only old people, and less people than work is mean less working forces and taxes forces. Okay, and it's all. Thank you for attention.
Okay, I'm the last one. Sorry. I'm the last one to speak in favor of the opposition. And first of all, I wanted again to notice that our main argument is that we want freedom in Europe, and also freedom where you want to live and where you want to work. And as it was said before, that it's not freedom if you're forced to work somewhere else because you don't have chances in your own country. I think it's not quite correctly, because work is never really free in that sense. You always have to somehow admit to what is needed and how you can get money. It's never completely free. You always depend on economical structures, and the only freedom we have is to choose more or less in which field we want to work that is fitting into these economical structures. So I think the freedom, the free movement of labor is the highest point of freedom that we can get in fields of work. Now to come to another really important point from our side is that it doesn't only have an economical effect, the free movement of labor, it also has a social effect. Because with the experiences you get in different countries, you get aware of the cultural diversity in Europe, and you will have time to socialize with different people from different countries. That can protect us from nationalism that is getting too strong, or from stereotypes about other human beings. It's a lesson we can learn in our lives, which is not payable and which we should value as an achievement for our personal development also. Also, I think it's just logical that, for example, in some countries, when people live in a bad situation because they can get not work, especially for the people who are unqualified, it's not just experts that go to other countries. It's just logical that you will go to another country, for example, to Germany, where cheap work is needed. And so you can improve your own situation. And maybe for your children in those countries, you can give a better education. So it will also be a new culture of education for the ones that will come later. Please.
Do you think it's really discriminating that, like in Germany, we are getting cheap labor from other countries, but the Germans don't want to do this work?
Yes, it's not fair, it's not balanced, like you said, but you cannot change the fact that in some countries it's a bad situation. And to be realistic and to be human, we have to think of the people themselves and not of nations anymore, because people themselves want to have a good life for their families and for their children. And why not going to another country and creating a new European culture that we can all be mixed? And don't think of nations anymore, but where is work needed? How can we help each other? Stop the discrimination. Think in bigger fields and not just like, okay, this nation is maybe consisting of cheap workers or not. No, we have to help each other. And our aim from our side is to think in a European context, to think in a European environment. And for that reason, I also think it's necessary that experts get together in one field. If all the experts from all over Europe will get together in one field, they will have more inspiration, more creativity, more ideas. And if you think of globalization nowadays, we will also need this to be to make a better competition in an international environment. Nowadays, the conditions get harder and harder, so I think it's important that, especially in Europe, all the experts and all the specialized knowledge can connect to each other, so we will have better chances on an international market. To sum up, I think our main point is that we want freedom as much as we can get for when it comes to working fields. And also we want more cultural diversity. So we have not just improvement in our economics, but also improvement in our social life. And I think what we see is a huge learning effect, not just in the hard skills, where you go to some country where it's really specialized in some field and you get a good knowledge of the profession that they have, but also you will have another learning effects, because you will learn how to communicate in different languages with different people from different backgrounds. And these kind of skills nowadays in the international market are as much valuable as the skills that you need that are called hard skills. So I think the learning effect is on every side. And we should think of the European context. Thank you.
Thank you, last speaker, for closing this debate. And I announce 10 minutes break. Thank you. Thank you for the debate. Please shake your hands. Because it was a debate, and you should stay fresh.
proposition. Okay, so we are going to discuss about zero-hour contracts, and as the president of the proposition party, we are going to support the motion of banning zero-hour contracts. Firstly, what are these kind of contracts if not only a way for the employers to exploit the employee? As a matter of fact, employees become totally dependent on the will of the employers, who decide on a totally discretionary way when and how the employees are going to work. So it's the employees do not know when they are going to work, because the employers can say to them, okay, tomorrow you are going to work, tomorrow you are not going to work, on a discretionary way. And this is not only a matter of job flexibility, which I guess the opposition will support, it's also a matter of financial stability and respect for workers. Furthermore, we cannot ignore the fact that the informal market exists, and such a form of contract could lead also to some economic problems, as our fellow experts from Italy perfectly showed us in their presentation. And so, I will be brief. Taking into consideration what the zero-hour contract represents, we strongly believe, as the proposition party and the leader of the government, that these contracts should be banned in favor of more regulated contracts, such as the fixed hours one can be. That's all. If you have any question, yes. If there are no questions, then thank you for your attention. I think you are in late.
Hello, everybody. I want to speak about our motion that we want to stay in a zero-hour contract, and I will try to state my opinion step by step, and I hope you will agree on my statements. First of all, in this world, what's important? The most important things when you are 18 years old is important to find a job. And to find a job, when you are 18 and you need a job, it's important that you have a job. So in this case, zero-hour jobs helping people to find their deserved job and find in every kind of situation that they want. Also, zero-hour jobs has his privileges, and his privileges, as the usual workers, they are getting health insurance and also maternal or parental pay and usual holiday, which is very nice, and they can work, for example, what time, how many hours they want per week, and it's not it is not for them any problem. In other case, what's the main reason these zero-hour jobs helping to decrease unemployment? If we ban zero-hour jobs, our unemployment rate will raise from 10 or 15%, which we have now in Eurozone, up to 13, because most of jobs are taken by 0 hours. So, do you need unemployment? Do you need more problem? I hope no. Wait a second. And if we continue this way, job market will increase, and for example, students will find their target jobs, and they will become more independent. From my opponent was mentioned that if you ban these rules, will be economic progress. Do you believe it? If we ban it, and it will be economical progress, and people will lose their jobs, it will be economy will rise? I don't think so. Please. You said that economical. No, you said that if we ban this rule, economic will make progress and it will be good for everyone. You have mentioned I vote.
I'm sorry, I
No, you.
give you the proof. I wrote, we cannot ignore the fact that the informal market exists, and such a form of contract could lead also to some economic progress, as we saw in the presentation. So I think you are mentioning.
But some economical progress. But it was still.
These are not my words.
To what extent do you think economic progress is possible, and what do you mean with that?
How I mentioned in the previously, most important thing is that it is that people take their jobs, and if people take jobs and if they work part time at least, they will take revenue, which is very important. They will pay taxes. And unemployment rate will decreases, and which is very good, because how less unemployment you have, more wealth country you are. So I will try to sum up my speech, and I state that we shouldn't ban this rule because it's against of our economy. And if you look to Great Britain's example, we can see that last 10 years they have these legislation rules, and their unemployment rate decreased at least 3%. So if it works in Great Britain, Canada or New Zealand, why, and it will also work in our country, why should we ban it? We haven't any clue of it, and we don't know how it will be, because there is no clear reason to ban it. Thank you for your attention. If you have a question? Questionare? Okay. Bye.